Hello.
Hello, everyone. So we are here once again pretty early than usual for the next week of what the next episode of A Conversation with Kely. Once again, here to talk about the week that was, or well, the beginning of the week that was in BB Can, because we do have a double eviction coming up on Thursday. And if you know, at least what I've always tried to do for double evictions is like, I've tried to do like a video kind of like speculating what the double eviction is going to be, and kind of using the rest of the week as like kind of a way to hint at what's going to happen in the double eviction, and then do a separate episode that's entirely about the double eviction, because usually when it's good, at least there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So I
Oh
figured that
yeah.
would be a lot of fun. But before we get things started, I am, of course, here with my lovely and beautiful co-host Allie, who has to work in about like I don't know, like 5 to 6 hours. So we should probably get this done. Um,
Yeah, we're filming this kind of late just because we do have
it
the
is
double
five
to talk.
thirty in the morning.
Well, 2:42 for me, but because we have the double to do tonight, so we just have this is the only time we can really do it because I do work at 10 my time, but only for 6 hours or
Yeah,
just over
and
6
with
hours.
double evictions, it's kind of tricky because you could say like, oh, well, you can record this after, but like if we
Yeah.
record it after, then we miss the double eviction, and then if
Like
we record
literally
this, like,
when literally like when I get home we'll be watching it and then we're going to do
yeah.
the podcast like right after, so we have no choice.
Yes, this
Um
is literally our only option. So,
but
whoa, you're getting
also
a 5:30 a.m. podcast.
yep. Well, once it goes live, of course, it won't be
Yeah,
5:30.
if you see the sun suddenly appear, you know why. Anyway,
But also, I am doing well.
yes.
Well, now, yeah, last night was my or yesterday now, Wednesday was my last day off before the weekend,
That's fun.
and I saw Grease play, which was really, really fun and cool.
Yes. I had a pretty good day. I worked for a little bit, and then I saw two movies, both of which I really liked. And then we started a show on Hulu called Saint X. It's not very good, but you know what is very good?
Mm.
This week of BB Can. For the most part, I thought this was a really good week. I
Yeah.
will say what is going to happen. Sad. I'm not super happy about the way things are headed. Within the week, but I will say there's a lot of intrigue. I'm interested in really seeing like how this end game is going to play out, especially because I feel like, and I want to get your take on this. I feel like the majority of the people this week play super suboptimally to how they should be
Mhm.
playing, and I think it's really going to cost them in the end.
Yeah, really the only people, like, playing well this round are, like, Kuzi, even Ty,
Yeah.
and a little bit Renee and Claudia.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into it with Tuesday's episode. So after Hope's eviction, Daniel is talking about the two clear sides of the house, and whichever side wins is going to control what happens the rest of the game. Obviously, we know what happens here. Renee wins
Yep.
HOH, and she's very ecstatic and knew that she could do it, and she just needed the right comp to perform it, and is happy she could pull out a win and have people stop doubting her for once. And I will say, pretty solid week for Renee as
Oh, yeah.
HOH. But I want to get your take on this. I think she needed this sooner. I really think she needed this sooner, because I think
Yeah.
if she had gotten this win a lot sooner, she really could have had a better footing within the house. Because I think even though this was a solid HOH week for her, I don't think I can come out of this week saying Renee is any safer than she was like coming into it.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely needed it sooner, but I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. She could be fine next round too, but we'll see because maybe they'll realize that they'll just leave her alone for a week and be like, "Let's
I
go
don't
for
know.
somebody
I
else."
just
Or
with
maybe
what
they'll be like, or no, maybe they'll be like, "Let's go for her allies instead."
with what's been happening, Renee's name is all over that double eviction for me. So we will see what happens.
I don't know. I feel like it could be. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, so Claudia and Shanae run to her. They're all very excited, and Ty and Daniel are expecting to go on the block. I love that, like, they're just expecting it because they have such a little relationship with her. They're just like, yeah, well, this is it. We're pretty much going on the block here.
Yeah,
And I mean, I kind of thought that's what Renee was going to do as well, because I mean, she's been all about like, the girls sticking together. I thought she was just
yeah.
going to put the two guys up and kind of just like let
I
them.
mean, I mean, that makes sense. She is all about girl power, but it is getting close to the end.
I mean, I do think that was probably the best move for her this week, though, especially because Daniel hasn't gone up yet. And I think that, she doesn't have much of a relationship with Daniel. So I think it kind of made sense for her to go that way. But we'll talk about
I
what
mean,
she
they've definitely had a relationship in the game, but
a little bit. Not
we
really.
just haven't seen a lot of it.
Yeah. So Ty says that ever since Dan S got evicted, he fell out with Claudia. He's been the biggest target in the house and not having any numbers on his side, but he's trying to be a shield and take it week by week and comp by comp and get his wins on his own. Ty at this point is so irrelevant in the house. He's just like the guy that like, oh yeah, you're still here. Like that's the best way to describe Ty at this point. It's like
I know.
he's basically a non-entity. And I feel like that's why he's more entertaining to me because he doesn't really have much influence at all right now.
I know.
So Kuzi goes to congratulate Renee, and I thought this was very smart what she does. She gets into her ear basically immediately, and this is what people like. This is why it's very important. I think that when you're HOH, you go to them as soon as possible because I think the conversation that Kuzi had with Renee was very important to how like the rest of the week played out for her.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, she says she's very happy to see her win, but in reality, she's shocked and is in panic mode, knowing that the Shady Bunch is likely in danger and is hoping her relation with her is better than Dan or Anika's. Or Daniel's or Anika's. So the Shady Bunch talk, and they're very upset that this is the hand that they've been dealt with for the past couple of weeks, but they're confident they will go for Ty no matter what. Daniel's pretty sure that he is going to go up beside Ty as well. So he pretty much is like, this is a done deal. That's what's going to happen. And I will say, at this point, I did feel bad for the Shady Bunch, but we'll talk about them in a little bit. The Shady Bunch is not exactly as tight knit as we want them to be, unfortunately.
I know. Like it's mostly like Daniel and Anika versus Kuzi this round.
Yeah, that's what I was hinting at, but we'll get. So basically, Anika is hoping to push Ty's name, but maybe even throw Kuzi under the bus a little bit. And that we basically are told that even though the three of them have been working together for a while, it's really starting to crumble. And I will say, it was inevitable that this was going to happen, obviously, because like Daniel and Anika have been like a very tight duo for a while, and then Kuzi has been really just playing this incredible game pretty much from the start. So it was inevitable this was going to happen. The way it happens, though, I'm not very happy about. Basically,
Me neither.
a scene one day earlier where Anika is talking to Kuzi. She brings up the safety chain and basically tells her to not tell people too much about it because some are saying she's a huge threat. And when Kuzi asks her for more information, she just refuses. And for some reason, Anika's like upset about the fact that Kuzi's like pressing her for more information. Like she's literally not telling her anything here.
I know. It's like ridiculous.
So she goes to Daniel about what Anika said, and then she's openly making herself a threat by saying that, which, yeah, I mean, if you were to go, like, if I was to go to you and say, Allie, people really don't like the fact that you're bringing this up, you'd probably ask me which people. And if I didn't say, that would probably be an issue, like.
Yeah, literally. Like she should tell people names when that's your ally.
Especially at Final 7, there's no reason to beat around the bush like this. And
Yeah.
especially when Anika, who later says in the week, like she considers Kuzi her closest ally, there's no reason to be cagey like this. Like, I just don't get it.
And also it's Final 7. Everyone knows who's working with who.
Yeah, it's like really, and that's the one thing about this cast, that they have made it super obvious who is aligned with who at this point.
Yeah.
So basically, Kuzi goes to Daniel about what Anika said, and Anika comes in and asks her why she got so worked up. And Kuzi once again asks her to mention who she's talking about. Anika finally says it's about her protecting Ty, and Kuzi says she's upset because they're supposed to be a team, and her relationship with her is better than her relationship with Ty, and she always comes first, and Anika agrees, but she knows that they now have their own ties. And yeah, I had a really big problem with this because it's like,
Same.
Anika is working with people that Kuzi isn't. Like, why does Kuzi only have to work with the Shady Bunch? Like, just the way that Anika and Daniel handle this entire week is like super infuriating to me.
It's so annoying. Like,
they seem to be upset that like Kuzi is
them,
not
like,
giving them like their full attention. But it's like at this point, like we're literally at Final 7. She's thinking about the end game. Like, it's not all about you guys. And like, the thing is, like, they're literally doing the same thing. So I just found them to be so hypocritical this entire week.
Oh, it's like, it's so frustrating.
And like Anika says, like she's now at a point where she doesn't even know where she stands with Kuzi anymore, and is just annoyed that their sides keep themselves in a split when they get targeted. So yeah, not great for the Shady Bunch right now.
No. Kuzi wants to make sure she gets to Renee as soon as possible before anyone else to ensure she's hitting the ground running, which which is great. Like, I'm just very glad that she got to her right away.
Yeah, because I think this was definitely a very needed conversation.
Oh, yeah. Anika and Daniel notice her and are annoyed. Of course they are.
Which, why? Literally,
why?
they would do the
She's
same
supposed
thing.
to do that.
Like, why are they upset that she went
I mean, to be fair, I mean, Daniel should know that's part of the game because he's a super fan. Anika's only seen one season.
Well, the other thing is, like, it's not like she's just gonna go to her and like throw Daniel and Anika under the bus. Like, she's not gonna do that. She's going
She's just
to
trying to stay safe.
Exactly. And here's the thing, like, Anika literally said she'd throw Kuzi under the bus if she needs to. So, like, what the fuck is the problem? Like, I just didn't understand this.
Me neither. It was like, really?
And look, I've loved Daniel and Anika up to this point, but this week, this was like...
Well, I mean, I still love them. They were just annoying this week.
Oh, I do too. I just found like them to be like so fixated on things that really aren't that big of a deal. And I think because of that, it is going to end up costing them the game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
she goes
Anika.
to her. Oh, yeah. She goes to her and says she has come to beg for her life. Renee says she doesn't have to beg for much and isn't anywhere near close to her target list, and that she has been a big part in making sure she gets here, and she took a hit for her team last week, and she knows what that feels like, and she wants to alleviate and the pressure for her, so she's not in any way at the top of her list.
Right.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
She is very pleased to hear this, but is still worried people may suggest it, and Renee says one of her noms will be Ty. Kuzi assures her if she wins HOH moving forward, she will be someone she spares for mercy and will come to her for advice.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a really great pitch from Kuzi. It's a good way of showing, like, hey, I'm on your side. Great. I'm not coming for you. I thought this was exactly what she needed to do, and I don't think she did anything wrong this week. Like, I think everything Kuzi does this week, minus one thing that's a little questionable, I think she handled very well.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So...
Daniel then talks to Anika about what may happen if Ty comes off, and Claudia says as long as he doesn't win, it will be okay. And Daniel says they shouldn't be too worried till later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Kuzi goes back to Daniel and doesn't tell him much of anything, and he is not happy with how cagey she's being. He says as much as he wants to keep the Shadiest Bunch intact, if he's going to do this, it will be game on.
What is she supposed to like say word for word everything she said to Renee? Like have a whole like fucking transcript of everything? Like I didn't understand what the problem was here.
Like that conversation is between them.
Yeah, like it's and like Daniel would do the same thing. Like if he had a one-on-one with Renee, I don't understand this. Like like what is the issue?
Yeah, literally nothing.
It really just comes across to me like Kuzi is somebody who has been in like this great position and we are jealous of that and we kind of want like that position. Yeah. And because of that, like now we're going to like make a big fuss about it.
Mm-hmm. The girly pops
and Anika have still been playing well. Like I don't think that's like they've all been playing fine.
Yeah. The girly pops then talk and are happy they are once again in power and that people should regret not getting them out earlier because they underestimated them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that is their story, is that they were underestimated.
I know. Shania asks Renee about her plans for who will be sitting next to Ty, and Renee says she is between Anika and Daniel. Shania brings up how close they feel to each other and that Kuzi has pushed them away. Renee says that if they came together to point the finger at Kuzi, she would rather keep a broken connection between Anika and Kuzi than a strong duo. They are hoping to pull out a veto win so they say they have dominated the game for a good 20 days, which we do stand that there's a girls' alliance that's actually like doing well.
For now.
We'll see. Kuzi goes to Claudia and Shania to beg for her life in case anything goes left and asks for them to keep her here. And that's it. That it's been a dream of her life to be here and that she would like to be spared at least until Final Five. Claudia says she won't expect anything else other than a man leaving. Shania
Which, I
is
mean,
unable.
again, if that's really what you wanted, like, it should have been Daniel and Ty.
I know, I wish. That would have been interesting. Shania is unable to tell if this is sincere or not, and is especially shocked as she is doing this right in front of Daniel, who is on the other couch.
Which I thought was so funny. He's literally just sitting there, and she's like begging for her life.
Oh, I know, it's so funny. She feels her doing this in front of him is adding fuel to the fire in their relationship, which will make it easier to get her out. And when she leaves, they all seem very confused and annoyed.
I mean, I get why she did it, but yeah, doing it in front of Daniel was definitely a little extra. But you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for the extraness.
Oh, same. It was so great to watch. It was great TV.
Oh yeah.
Daniel says in these circumstances, he thinks it's a great opportunity for him and Anika to work with Claudia and Shania and to come together and start pushing forward within the scheme, which we're finally getting like more of this alliance, but like,
yeah,
I just don't know how much it's going to last because like, I know Anika said that she doesn't trust any of the girls.
Well, she did say that, but now she doesn't think that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, so yeah, they started forming this alliance like in the last episode when they had like that conversation. For some reason they didn't show them making that alliance, but yeah, I mean, this seems to be a thing that most of them are prioritizing. I don't think it's really in any of their best interests, but they seem to be pretty close, so we'll see.
Yeah. Based on this, like, it seems like Shania wants to keep this alliance, but Claudia's very hit or miss.
Yeah, Shanae's like the one like really pushing for it, and Claudia's kind of like, well, are we really gonna like turn on Renee like this late in the game?
Yeah,
where it's
like I mean, they just think they just can't beat her, which I mean, we'll see.
I mean, I don't know, especially with like how
Claudia also knows that they're like a duo and they're like a threat.
Yeah, I don't know, because like Hope did say in like a confessional that not a confessional, like an exit interview that he did, that there's like no scenario where he'd vote for Renee, but he said about like all the girly pops, so I'm not sure. I really don't know. I think
the only person who's like rooting for Shania is Dan.
Yeah.
So I feel like right now Claudia has the best chance, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. All right. Renee then brings Anika to Wendy's, which honestly, this makes sense.
Yeah.
So she brings her to Wendy's due to how Rocky.
Anika to Wendy's.
What?
Everyone's taking Anika to Wendy's, it seems like. Because I think didn't Claudia bring Anika to Wendy's last week?
No, Claudia brought Shania.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Renee brings Anika to Wendy's due to how rocky her relationship with Kuzi and Daniel is becoming, and she can hopefully find a crack within that. She is also visited by season 9 alumni Jed, who she
someone I know.
Yes, icon. Who she seems to have a bit of a crush on, which is really funny.
Yeah.
She's just like flirting with him.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
He gives her some advice that when he was HOH, he took a big shot and
work alarm.
What?
My work alarm just went off.
Oh, that's funny. He gives her some advice that when he was HOH, he took a big shot and let the feelings get the best of him and couldn't go through with it. So he can't let her make the same mistake, and she has to take a shot. And if they win the veto, convince him to stay on the block, which she says she'll try out.
Yeah, I thought this was a really funny moment where like he's like trying to encourage her, and she's like swooning over him. She's like, yes, I'll try it.
Oh, it's so funny. I love that so much.
And then I think I saw a tweet from like her sister on like her account, and it's like I think she was serious about him calling her.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Which it's like, someone want to give Renee the memo that Jed is not single.
Yeah. It is funny though.
That was a very funny moment. I did enjoy that.
She talks with Anika and says the goal is to get Ty out this week, and it's just about filling that seat, and that she isn't planning to put up Kuzi right away, and basically tells her she likely will be filling that spot. Anika says she genuinely trusts Kuzi and was her number one. and she can use words in a way that will really make you trust her too. But she is concerned about her, her running to the room right in front of her and Daniel.
Which
Like,
is such a stupid thing to be concerned about. And
I
like,
know.
if Anika really considered Kuzi like her number one, like this is just not how you treat your number one.
Not at all. Like,
Like, I
really?
just didn't understand this. Like, I think there was a way. I'm not saying that like she shouldn't have like pushed Kuzi, but I think there was a way
Yeah.
that she could have done that and also
Mhm.
not be like, well, she was my number one, but now I'm not really sure. Cause that also like makes Anika look really bad. Cause it's like, okay, if she's willing to turn on her number one that easily, you know,
Yeah.
she's gonna turn on other people that easily. Like, I just felt this was just a very bad moment for Anika all around.
Yeah, agreed. Renee asks who she would start going after, and Anika says she's probably thinking about targeting the three girls and doesn't think she has any order, but she makes it clear she will not be coming after her.
Well, we'll see.
Interesting. We'll see. Anika is very confused as to what Kuzi could have told Renee to keep herself safe, and
Who
she's shocked.
cares?
Like, what? Who cares? And she is shocked and a bit betrayed, especially since it's pushed the two of them closer to the block.
She literally just like gave her a pitch to keep herself safe and didn't tell Kuzi. Like, what is the problem?
Mhm. Like, what the hell? It's being very hypocritical there.
Yeah, I just didn't understand this.
Nope, me neither. She goes over to her and she says that was just tired of having to fight and three of them always being at risk. And Kuzi asks if she said anything, and Anika says she didn't, but she knows it will be one of them on the block. And being in this position, she's so tired, and that she's unsure if it will be her or Daniel. Anika feels Kuzi is being fake and is breaking the trust with her and Daniel, and now is thinking of targeting her.
I don't know how she's coming across as fake in this conversation. Like,
She's not at all.
I don't get it.
Like, what, girl? What are you doing? Daniel goes to Renee and gives a pitch saying he assumes Ty is a target, and she makes it clear he is, and she says that because their trio put Kuzi up already, she's not doing that to her again. He says that he's always been honest with her, and anytime she's been on the block, he said he wasn't going to vote for her, and that though their relationship had always been jokey, he's always been upfront and honest about how he was playing the game, and he feels they both have been underestimated right within the game, and moving forward, she will not be his target.
Yeah, I thought this was a good conversation.
I think so too. It was a good one.
He did what he needed to do here.
Yeah.
But I do think that Kuzi's pitch was better. Like,
definitely.
Across is like, this is what I'm going to say to you now that you're HOH, whereas Kuzi's, at least to me, comes across as like, okay, there's a lot more to offer with that, because she literally said if she's HOH, like, she's going to go to me and like have my best interests and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Daniels is like, well, you're HOH, so I'm going to talk and say that, you know, I'm not coming for you and I've always been on your side. But I feel like that's like standard stuff to say to HOH. So
for sure. She says she just wants to make sure she had the best fighting chance she can with the dynamics that are left, and that the veto can go in their favor as well.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Claudia talks to Ty, who is lying down.
I remember him. He's still here.
They're kind of flirting, but kind of not.
Yeah.
I mean, not really flirting. They're just kind of cuddling at times.
At this point, I feel like it's all like she's just joking with him.
Yeah, probably.
Like, it's like when you've had that person that like you've dated, but like you've remained friends, so you still kind of like joke around about that stuff. I feel like that's where Claudia and Ty are at right now. Where like they're at a point where they can joke about flirting with each other.
Yeah.
Even if it still hurts a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but Claudia talks to Ty, who is lying down in bed, and asks if he's going to talk to Renee, and he says he doesn't have much to talk about, and that he knows he's going to be a target regardless, and is just banking on winning a veto.
I love that he's like not even like trying to talk to her. He's like, I'm going up. There's nothing I can do. Which, I mean, to his credit, like,
he's literally the house target.
I mean, sometimes that is the case. Sometimes there literally is nothing you can say, so there really isn't a point.
He has been pretty iconic though the last couple weeks.
He has been. I'm still not a Ty fan by any means.
Not a fan of him as a person, but like just as a player.
No, I don't want to try to act like I'm a Ty fan all of a sudden.
No.
But I do think I have been a fan of him just kind of just like doing whatever because he's a house target,
Same.
so fuck it. Like I am kind of a fan of
Yeah.
that. So
I'm
I
just
just wish
here
it
for like
was
the chaos and everything and the entertainment.
I just wish it came from somebody that was a better person than Kai.
Oh,
So
yeah, agreed.
So Shania goes to Anika and Daniel says that one of them for sure are going up. Kuzi is pretty much safe, but she threw them under the bus as soon as possible, and Shania says she will do anything in her power to make sure it's Kuzi should the noms not stay the same, which I mean, I thought that was smart of Shania to get into their head like that.
Yeah,
So,
agreed.
yeah, but again, I just,
Like,
why are
Shania
you
definitely has, like, good intentions this week, but she doesn't play it that well.
The thing with Shania is I feel like she's playing it like this is like the start of jury and there's like still a lot of weeks left in the game.
Yeah.
Like there's literally only like 2 weeks left of the game. Like there's no
Mhm.
reason to be doing all this. Like I just think
Yep.
she's a little too like short-sighted and I don't think
Oh,
she
yeah,
realizes
yeah.
how quickly they are like close to the end game. So
Mhm.
we get this moment where Renee is then tasked with various dares she is to perform. I thought this was a really funny moment.
Oh, it was
Basically,
hilarious.
she has different dares, such as persuading someone to do her laundry, getting someone to scratch an itch, and the most important one of them all is she has to try to convince one house guest that she has a crush on them, in which she decides to pick Daniel, and he doesn't buy it for a second, which I thought
Oh,
was
no,
weird.
he's like so sus. He's like, "This is not real, is it?"
Yeah, he didn't buy
He's just
into it for a
laughing.
second.
It was
So
but I mean, technically, because like, she didn't really have many options to choose from for the guys.
yeah, I mean, I don't think she wanted
I
to be
mean, unless
tied.
it would have been funny if she chose, like, one of the girly pops.
Yeah. So he goes to the diary room and lets them know that Renee was on a secret mission in which she failed. However, she still gets an A plus for effort, and everyone's going to get 5K Wendy's rewards points, of which we still don't know what these are for. I thought this was completely pointless. It's like if she's not going
Literally.
to do well in the mission, why do they still get rewarded for it? I don't know.
Yeah, it was kinda
Um,
pointless.
this was definitely not anywhere near on the
Hilarious?
level of like Kevin having to quit the game last season. That was a
Oh
lot
god,
funnier.
right? Yeah, that was really pointless too.
No, but at least with that he succeeded, and it was actually
Yeah.
a really fun moment. But this was definitely not quite as successful this time around.
Yeah.
Renee is not getting any points for acting, it seems. So Shania, Daniel, Claudia, and Anika talk about how insane it would be if Renee actually took out Ty this week, and that the four of them have a great shot in the final two, and they need to come together and they can actually see a path. Shania feels that they have all had similar approaches, and Claudia says that there are other reasons, but they are playing similar games. Shania says that they've been underdogs and have been underestimated and have proven themselves through similar avenues. Daniel thinks it's best case scenario for all of them, which I mean, I really just don't know how to feel about this four. I
I
feel
mean,
like
like, I'm here for it, but it's just, like, it's also, like, very hit or miss.
I just feel like if they came together earlier, like they would have a better shot than now when it's like
Yeah.
literally only a few weeks before the end of the game. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll work out, but I'm not
Because,
sure.
like, especially with things Claudia said this week, like, she's definitely, like, weary of them.
Yeah, which is understandable because it's like now we're gonna work with Daniel and Nika after all this time.
Yeah.
Shania talks to Claudia and says the more she talks to Renee, the more she feels like they are both setting themselves up for disaster. And if they are standing in the end with Renee, she is going to win, which I don't know about that based on a lot
Yeah,
of what
Renee
Shania
is, like,
said.
someone who has a chance, she just has to really, like, own her game and, like, really explain her game.
Yeah, which I really don't know if she's going to based on how she handles some of this week.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Claudia is also threatened based on what she's thinking. Shania says she doesn't know if it would bode well to take that shot and wants to stay loyal. And Claudia says she's already been there since she put up her showmance, and both seem unsure if they want to take that shot. Claudia says that they are well set up where it's okay if the other side wins power. They are well set up, and it isn't a bad thing to consider all options. So they talk to Renee about what Anika said to her at Wendy's, and Renee says she's trying to make the best feel of the final six and who is going for who. And I will say the one thing I like about Renee this week is that she doesn't try to let Claudia and Shania get into her head like at all this week.
Yeah.
She's very much like her own person, and she's like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do what's best for me. I'm not
She's
gonna
like,
let
"I'm
you
doing
two
what's
like
smartest."
Yeah, I thought that was very smart of her to do that. Claudia says that she feels Kuzi is coming for her, and she says she thinks that Nico would be understanding. Shania says that they're very torn as to what to do. If Ty wins the veto, it's a win-win to get Kuzi out. So they start pitching about the friction between the three of them and that Anika and Daniel would be going for them. And this is why Anika and Daniel doing what they're doing is bad, because they can
Mm-hmm.
literally now use this as a reason to, like, pit them against each other.
Yeah.
So Shanae says that if Kuzi goes, it still works out for them because he would still be a house target and no one would really be looking at them. I understand this logic, but like you could literally say this about anybody that's a house target in the game. They
Yeah.
could have said this about fucking Dan. Like literally they could
Mm-hmm.
have, because it's
Oh,
like,
I agree.
oh, well, we'll just get him next week. And then they win HOH. Like, imagine if Renee didn't put Ty up this week and then Ty won HOH, like in the double. Like, it would be disaster. So, like,
Oh, that would be a mess.
I'm really happy that Renee did not take this advice because this did not make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the shadiest bunch are talking, and Kuzi once again leaves. Anika notices how weird she's been acting. They're both being backstabbed, but they aren't being fooled, and they will keep their guards up. What are you worried about? Like, I don't
What is
understand.
she worried about, girl?
So it's time for the nomination ceremony, and while she has a few options at play, she ultimately does decide to nominate Ty and Anika. I thought this was the best case scenario for
Yeah,
her.
I actually had a feeling these were going to be her
Yeah,
noms.
same.
And also I will say her speeches were really good for it because like
Yeah,
she actually like Renee, like being a law student, I feel she's like really good with like speeches.
her speech was good for this. I don't think her speech was good for the veto.
I mean, I thought it was pretty like good, definitely like for like game wise.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because like she
So
definitely is taking shots. Like she's
yeah,
just being strategic.
yeah. So that's everything going on Tuesday. Let's get to Wednesday because there's a lot that goes down
I know.
on this episode. Renee says that she put Ty on the block because he's been her main target, especially since the move didn't land last week, and she wants to make sure that she has that shot on her resume. She's sending her soldiers into battle for the veto, and one of them will hopefully come out with the dub and send him home. She makes it clear Ty time is over. So
That was
Ty,
funny.
on the other hand, is actually feeling good that he's on the block. He's so confident at this point that like he's going to win the veto and that like he's this big target and he's not trying to hide the fact that he's a strong competitor. And if they want him to get him out, he needs to be backdoored. So he is just like
Why is
pretty
this giving
much.
me hope? Why is this giving me hope vibes with like I'm gonna win the veto?
I mean, the difference is that Ty's actually right. Like Hope was
Yeah.
like, basically convincing himself that he's this comp beast when he never really was. He won one comp
Mhm.
and then he just won to win all the others.
Yeah.
Whereas Ty actually is like proving himself. So
Exactly.
love Hope, but definitely not the greatest player.
No, not at all. But he's great.
So Daniel's very happy to be spared from the block, especially when ties are shifting, and the shadiest bunch is really starting to crack, even though that's basically your own doing. But
Yep.
um, regardless, everyone needs Ty out as he has been proven to be a comp beast, and there's a threat of him winning out to finale. And if anyone wants a chance of getting there, they have to get him out this week. So Claudia then talks about how iconic it would be for Ty to show up to jury and say that Renee got him out, which would shock everyone. Which, yeah, that would have been really funny if that was the case. But
Oh yeah.
that.
It would be funny, but it'd also be like it would
Yeah,
be cool too, because like they would be like, "Ooh, I underestimated her."
yeah. I am excited for the jury footage when like they find out Renee won HOH. Like, what's their response going to be? So,
Mm-hmm. I mean,
especially like,
I feel like they will be happy for her that she won a comp
yeah,
because like nobody dislikes her or anything.
no, they just haven't really respected her game.
Yeah, they
So,
just because she hasn't really done a whole lot.
yeah. So Renee goes to Anika, lets her know that the girls know her intentions and everything, and that they want her here as much as she does. And she promises her that if Ty pulls himself off, she's not going to be going home, and she knows how it feels and reassures her that she respects her decision. Renee says they have all gone over it clearly as a collective, and she has nothing to worry about. And this is a good conversation until Anika once again has to bring up that she's fuming that Kuzi is that she's on the block and not Kuzi, who is such a bigger threat than her. And again, like
Oh,
she's supposed to be your number one. Why are you upset that she's not on the block? Like I
yep.
literally Renee just told her she's fine. I don't understand
Mm-hmm.
what the big deal is here.
Yeah.
Um Like, I
I
understand.
feel like most people probably wouldn't keep a few people like the girly pops and stuff would probably keep noms the same because obviously Ty would have left by then, unless they want Kuzi out. But
The only
I feel
person I
like
could
Daniel would probably save Anika, so Kuzi goes up.
I don't know because
I don't know.
I did hear he had a conversation with Ty where he told him like I am potentially thinking of like using the veto on you, just to like,
Ooh,
see what would happen. So I don't know
interesting.
if that would have actually been the case, but I did hear there was a possibility that he could have. Now he
That
could
would
have
have
been
been
bullshitting Ty.
interesting.
That's obviously a possibility. We don't know because we don't have feeds, of course.
I mean,
But
Daniel did save Ty before.
yeah, so it definitely could have been a possibility. I just don't know if it actually would have happened. But
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe it did. So Daniel tells Kuzi that he doesn't want to think that there's a chance that they could lose the veto, and she tells him that in the case Ty does win, that they are a stronger three with him. But only in that case, she doesn't think it's the best move to get Ty out, especially since he is better for her game than Anika. I thought she was making a lot of sense here.
Yeah.
Ty is someone who has had Kuzi's back up to this point. Like, say what you want about Ty. I think he has been a good ally to Kuzi. He's
He
listened to
has.
her when she was HOH. He didn't try to go against it. He didn't agree with it. He tried to influence her, realized he couldn't, and he
Like
hasn't wavered from Kuzi since then. Uh,
really Kuzi's she really just needs Ty.
yeah, like I do think Ty is somebody that she very much needs, and I'm glad that she's recognizing that. So
Mm-hmm.
this makes Kuzi feel like she doesn't fully have her back, and is just and basically, we find out that
Oh wait,
before
I also realized something. Technically, Daniel wasn't gonna save Ty until Kuzi said that. Remember in that
yeah,
one
that's
veto?
no, that's not true. Oh yeah, that
Because
is
there was
true.
like Kuzi and like Anika were talking to
Oh,
him or
when the
whatever.
invisible HOH, yeah, that was Kuzi who told him to do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
basically, we find out that apparently before Hope left, he actually told her that Daniel is Anika's number one, and she wants all the bigger threats to get each other out, and that she can laugh away all the way to the top. And I'm here for Hope causing all this chaos, like before he leaves.
Same.
I never have expected it from him,
Oh,
but
same.
I
So
thought it was
good.
yeah, but now Kuzi feels like she doesn't have her back and is just waiting to take her out, which is why she doesn't really trust Anika at all. So she
Mm-hmm.
talks to the cameras and says that she hopes she can play in the veto and win the veto and save herself and Ty. And she's not here for friendship, and that it doesn't make sense to take an enemy in her camp over someone who has never gone after her and wants to stay at the M with her. And I feel like Kuzi is like one of the only people that's like making sense right now. It's like
Yeah.
we're at a point where obviously, yes, the shadiest bunch has stuck together, but if Anika is always going to pick Daniel over her, she needs to not value Anika as much, and she needs to
Mm-hmm.
recognize like there has to be other avenues. And I think she's on the right track in recognizing like Ty is her best chance in the end, because I firmly
Yeah.
believe that I think Ty is probably her best chance in the end as
I
well.
agree.
So I thought Kuzi was very on point when it came to this, and I'm
Oh,
glad that she like
definitely.
was recognizing that like yeah, Ty can't go. I kind of need
Mm-hmm.
him to stay. It
Yeah.
would have been interesting if like Ty stayed on the block. Like, would she have been able to keep him in the house? I don't know if that would have worked out.
That would have been very interesting.
Yeah.
Kuzi tells Ty he better be in beast mode for this thing. She says, best case scenario, he wins and good Daniel goes up. Her vote is for Daniel, and Kuzi says if she wins, she'll pull him off and she'll tell Renee they won't go after her and that Claudia and Shania won't choose her over each other.
That would have been intense if that
That would
happens.
have. Mm-hmm. She's more confident going into war with Ty than Anika. Kuzi isn't afraid of anybody in this house. She came to play, and if risks are what's going to get her there, risks are what she's going to take. And if it has to be war, she will wage it, and it fears no one.
Ugh, love her so much.
I love her. She's so good. She's like, I don't give no fucks here.
Yeah.
It's then time for the veto. Shania, Kuzi, and Daniel will be playing alongside Ty and Anika.
Which
So
again, we
obviously,
didn't see a draw, which was weird.
yeah. Maybe I feel like maybe that's just because of like timing sometimes.
Probably. I mean, there's a lot that happens in this episode. This was also a very long comp. Like, this was most of the
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, obviously, so Claudia and Renee obviously didn't play. This
Yeah.
competition involves each of them entering the winner's store and making their way through 5 different sections. They will then have to collect the 4 puzzle pieces scattered in each room. And once they have found them, they will race to finish the puzzle, but it won't be as easy as it sounds due to the constant temptations throughout each room, and it will be up to them to determine how badly they want those prizes and how much time they want to spend earning them before moving on to the next section. The house guest who is able to solve the puzzle in the fastest time will win the veto, which I actually really liked and enjoyed this comp.
Yeah, I did too. I've always
It was
enjoyed
fun.
comps where like they try to like tempt them, but I've never seen it like quite to this
Mhm.
extent. Like this is what I always say. BB Can always
Yeah,
just does a better job when it comes to like I think like creativity and like this is something that I want to see like BBUS do. Like it doesn't
yeah,
just have to be like, oh, cash prize, oh, you will have to wear like
a
a
vacation,
like a vacation. Like
a
there's other ways to
costume.
do it, and I feel like the way they did it here, I want to see something much closer to because I thought this was actually
Mhm.
very exciting to watch.
Yeah, it was really like original and unique.
Oh yeah,
So Shania gets a visit from her mom during the temptation clock.
which that really threw me for a loop. I was like, oh my god, their loved ones are literally involved with this because it's
It was
like
so cute.
and that really makes it tough too because it's like oh my god here's my mom I want to hug my mom and like talk to her but you also want to win a veto and you have to like kind
Yeah,
of like literally prioritize your family over like the veto
yeah.
like it's kind of intense. I was like
I know. They're like, I want to see my mom or whoever, my loved
yeah
one, but like they also want to win.
yeah like it adds a whole other like wrinkle to the comp that I to the
Mhm.
veto that I really liked a lot, so I
Yeah.
definitely want to see more of this.
Kuzi is tempted by a letter from home puppies and finally ends up falling for the 1K inside the bag, as well as a visit from her cousin.
How do you feel about this?
I, I mean, I know she said she wanted that money for like her family back in
Yeah.
Zimbabwe, which is very sweet, but like she she could have won that veto
Yeah, I mean, I think she was just really
because like
confident
she
that like
definitely needed it.
I think she was really confident on her time and she just wasn't really thinking about like the fact
Yeah,
that like this could ruin it. She just really was kind of like inside of the money.
and she
But
was kind of more thinking with her heart.
yeah, and I obviously, that's really, a pure thing and she
Yeah,
had
very wholesome.
definitely the right idea when it came to that, but, I think in terms of the veto, I think it just kind of lost her and I do think this
Yeah,
was really the only mistake she makes this week.
yeah, sadly,
So, yeah, really
because she
sucks.
definitely needed that veto.
Oh yeah, especially if she was going to save Ty, that would have been big.
Oh, that'd be insane because that means Daniel would have went up.
Yeah. Which I mean,
And
kind of best case scenario for her because they're not really
who do you
helping
think
her.
would have left in that
Daniel
scenario?
and Nika are not really helping her.
Maybe Daniel? I don't know.
I think
Oh
I
no.
think I think Daniel
Oh
probably
no,
goes at this
Kuzi would
point.
vote Daniel, so probably him.
I think Daniel goes, especially because like I think a lot of people are valuing Anika, mainly because like I mean at this point like she very much gives that like zero vote finalist type vibes,
Yeah.
because she just
I
isn't
feel
really.
like right now, like even with Ty winning all these comps, he had a bad social game. So I feel like Ty and Anika are people that are 0 vote finalists.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless like Ty might get like
I
one
don't
vote, but
see I don't see the Kevin Martin type arc for Ty. Like I know people are
no.
trying to like prop it up that like, oh, Ty could get to the end, like explain his game, but like it's Ty. We know he's not great at like the social aspect of the game. He's not very good at like explaining. He's not very good
Not
at
at
like
all.
humbling himself, and I feel like that's really what would cost him here. Like I feel like Ty is like a big talker and
Yeah.
he likes to take credit. He would take credit for things that like he didn't do. Like I'm not confident that he would have like a really good speech like at the end. So
Same.
I feel like
Yeah,
that would really hurt him.
I agree.
So I kind
Ty
of want to
gets
see it because I think it'd be funny. Like what would he even
it would
say?
be.
But like
That would be
I'm
funny.
not confident that he would do well at that because like his
Yeah.
worst aspect of the game has been his social game. And
Oh,
I do think
definitely.
his speech would definitely reflect that.
His social, I mean, strategically, he's not bad at times, but socially, he sucks.
It hasn't improved at all.
Yeah. Ty gets a visit from his mom, and Anika gets a visit from her brother during the temptation clock.
Which he doesn't even try to talk to his mom. He's just like, I'm getting the prize. Like, that's it.
Like he's like, I want to, but I need to win this.
Yeah.
Daniel is last to go and is given a visit by his mom during the temptation clock. And then it's finally time for results.
Yes.
And with Shania in 5th place with 34 minutes and 8 seconds. Anika in 4th with 27 minutes and 46 seconds. Kuzi in 3rd with 19 minutes and 35 seconds, which, I mean, she probably would have won if she didn't go for the prize.
Yeah, she was literally so close.
Yeah.
And
Daniel
then the top two literally are like a few seconds behind of each other.
I know, it's crazy. Daniel with 18 minutes and 45 seconds, so which means Ty ends up winning the veto again with 18 minutes and 49 seconds.
And his third
Wait, hold on. Wait a second. How is that possible? Shouldn't it be like 18:45 for him and 49 for Daniel?
No, 49 is more than 45. Oh yeah. You're right.
It's just I think it's just wrong on there.
Yeah.
Because since Ty wins.
Yeah. Yeah, this is his third veto in a row, which is insane. I didn't think we'd ever get to a point where we'd say like, oh, Ty is like the comp beast of the season. But I mean, at this point, I feel like it's not up for debate. Like Ty is the comp beast of the season. Ty is just like he's unevictable at this point. So we'll see.
I know. We'll see.
I mean, that being said, like they need to backdoor him. Like that's how you got to get him out.
Yep. Kuzi is very annoyed that she was a few minutes away, and Claudia and Renee are shocked to hear about the family visits.
Yeah, which I heard people say like, oh, it kind of sucked that like they didn't get to see their families, but I'm sure they'll do like something for them. They always
probably
do, with like the families. So
yeah, hopefully
usually we get to see
this, or maybe just like loved ones videos or something.
Well, I mean, last season they literally had them like they did it. Remember they did it like through like the jail cell.
Oh yeah.
We met like so cool. Kevin's girlfriend, now fiance.
I love that. Yeah. Daniel's disappointed how close the time was between him and Ty, and that he didn't even get to talk to his mom.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for him here. He's like, he didn't even get to talk to her.
I know, that's so sad. Ty says he went for nothing, and he ripped the piece right from his mom's hand.
Yep.
Shania is shocked Kuzi went for the money when they are supposed to be focused on getting Ty out. Like, she was really annoyed.
Yeah, which I understand, but like I also feel like if Shania was in that position, I feel like she probably would have done the same thing. So.
Probably.
And Shania did hug her mom for quite a bit. So it's
she kind of just like
you also got last place. So like I don't think you should be talking.
Yeah, she ended up just like talking to her mom.
Yeah.
Kuzi is happy Ty won since he's been fighting so hard, but she knows her and Daniel are going to end up on the block next to Anika. So she's really worried, so she needs to make sure she's the first in Renee's ear and can't think of the others.
Yeah, which again is really smart.
Yeah. She goes to her and says that she asks to keep her here, even if it comes down to 2 votes, and that she has seen her value and her worth, and that's why she's still here despite everything. Although it's not all within her hand, but she hopes she also sees the value in her staying here and trying to fight so close to beating Ty, and she really thinks she can do it. Renee says she told her that when she made her decision, she'd be as objective as possible, not just for her team's game, but also for her game first, and is upset they almost had him gone this week.
Yeah, which again, I like that Renee doesn't like give her an answer here. She's like, I'm still kind of thinking about it.
Yeah, she was just like weighing options and seeing who she can trust more.
Yeah.
Renee can't believe nobody can seem to get Ty out, and now has to make this right. And now has to make this big decision as to where she wants to go between Daniel and Kuzi, and is weighing out her options for both.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, how is it like impossible to get this guy out? I never would have expected it. Like, if you were to talk to me like the week that Zach went, I would have said, "Oh, Ty's going right after," but that didn't happen.
Shania tells Claudia and Renee that Kuzi is already campaigning to her, and Claudia says if she had any worry she was going on the block, she shouldn't have gone for the 1K. Shania asks Renee what she's thinking, and Renee says she wants to weigh it out. And Shania says as far as comps go, they have a better shot against Daniel than Kuzi, which is true. Because Daniel's only won like the 1 veto in the invisible week.
Yeah.
Shania says if Kuzi hadn't have gotten caught up with the money, her time probably would have been shorter than Ty's. And Renee says the reason why she is weighing both of them is because she wants to see where she sits with both of them game wise. Because if it comes down to what's that supposed to say?
A pick and choose.
Because that typo's funny.
Yeah.
Because if it comes down to a pick and choose, she can't always be there knowing she's at the butt end of it. She says she does want to take Kuzi out, but she has to think about jury management, which
Mm-hmm.
she feels often gets overlooked, and she fears to send her to jury to have a longer time there. And has such a good way with her words, and Shania says that is a valid concern. But without her here, they have a much stronger chance of winning. I will
I like
say,
that she mentions jury management because I feel like that gets overlooked very often.
yeah, I will say because like all the jury are rooting for Kuzi. I feel like if they I think that they realize that like Renee, like if she gets rid of Kuzi, that's gonna like be very like surprising, and I feel like it's gonna like maybe secure some votes for her.
Maybe, but it's also based on like how she handles it.
Yeah. Kuzi talks to herself and says while she wanted that 1K, if she walks out this week, she will know it was $1 million mistake. And if she goes up on the block, she has to convince a third person to keep her safe, which is tough because these people are playing friends and she's here to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, she's always been the most level-headed, and that continues to be the case
Oh,
here.
yeah,
So
definitely.
So Daniel talks to Renee, and he tells her that she has nothing to worry about with him. He sees a place where they can make it to Final Two together. She wants to make sure that she has mercy in this situation, and she hopes that he has mercy going forward. He can't be more honest, and he can't put her up, and he says that he'd be stupid not working with her, especially with her saving him, and if she gives him this chance, that he's going to be loyal to it. So Daniel says he's really only partly lying to Renee. He's not targeting her, but he doesn't want to take her to Final Two. Daniel asks Renee if he is really the move for her to get out right now. He says that he's not the one who is pushing things throughout the season and says that Kuzi will have more jury votes than him. I mean, this was a good pitch. I will definitely say that, but I do think that it just made more sense to put Daniel up here. Like, he hasn't gone up yet. You really have to then make Kuzi choose between Anika and Daniel. I just felt like this made a lot
I will
more
say,
sense.
like, it's interesting where he says he's not targeting her. I feel like yeah, like who do you think he would put up?
Claudia.
Even what about the alliance though?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, who is he targeting? Just
Who
Ty?
knows?
He doesn't have a second nom. It's just Ty.
Even though he wants to work with Ty.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to tell.
Literally.
Ty tells Kuzi that he talked to Claudia about what she'd do in Renee's position, and she said that Kuzi is a very strong player, and that's the best option. But Anika and Daniel are working together, and that could be a potential angle. And I thought this was honestly like a great pitch from Ty. What he was here.
And
He
also
tells her,
Claudia definitely is weary about Daniel and Nika.
yeah. So she needs to push how close those two are together and that she will take her to Final Two. She knows that the right things to say and that people have a hard time listening to him because they know he's a big threat and always trying to steam on them. But her approach is softer and acceptable. And he tells her that if she ends up on the block, he will throw Anika under the bus and that she'll do the same thing. She says that she wants to sit next to him in the Final Two because she really believes he deserves to be there. And like I said, I'm here for this. Like, if we get a Ty and Kuzi Final Two, I'm very much here for it. I think this is
cool.
a very unexpected duo, but I'm kind of here for them working together.
Me too, because she definitely needs him.
Yeah, because he seems to be the one that's like advocating the most for her. So
yeah,
it also seems like if Ty was to ever go and Kuzi was still there, he'd probably be like really like rooting hard for her on the jury and like really trying to like pitch why she needs to be there. So So she makes one last pitch to Renee, and this pitch I thought was fantastic. She brings up how she has two options left and doesn't know where the votes fall if she puts her or Daniel up. Kuzi Kuzi thanks her for taking her out this week would be easy. Tells her that taking her out this week would be easy, but to keep in mind that when she had the opportunity to get her out, she saved her. And if she says she's only one person and everyone else has a duo, and she's trying to set herself up for success, and she can guarantee that with her, she would always come first. But she spared her but also because who else does she have to really prioritize? And she's always kind of seen the
Mhm.
value in her and proved it. And yeah, I mean, this made a lot of sense. Like Kuzi doesn't
It
really
was
have
great, a great pitch.
anyone else, especially if Anika and Daniel are coming after her. So
Yeah.
Renee says not putting her on the block the first time was showing her how much she appreciates what she's done up to the same seat that she is. And now it comes down to what word she can take. So Kuzi says she understands it's a tough position because Daniel's a great guy, but she knows that he will never choose her and that people will tell her that this is a good resume move for her, but she needs to use this resume because if she can't get there, what even was the move for? And I thought this was her most effective point where it's like,
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
you want
great.
that resume move. I know you want this to happen, but like, there's no point in making a resume move if you don't even think you have like a discernible path to final two. And I thought this is something that a lot of people don't think about. Like a lot of people just kind of want to make big moves happen, but they
Mhm.
don't think about, can I logically do this and still get to final two? And so I
Yeah.
like the Kuzi's, like, you really have to think about, can you get to final two with this? And
Mhm.
honestly, I think that Renee should have thought of that as well, because I think this was like the most important point of what she said.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Renee says she has always looked at the other choices and that it can be great. It can be great either way or a risk. So we get
True.
to the veto ceremony, and Ty, oh my God, saved himself. I'm so shocked. Never
I'm
would have
so
expected him to do
shocked.
that. Had this really funny pitch where he said, like, once you hear 100 of the shots, you don't take. But if your name is Claudia Renee, you're missing 100%
He
of the
says
shots.
CC or Ray Ray.
Yes. Renee says that there's one thing she's learned in this game. It's that opportunities like this don't come often. And with little time she has to strike while the iron is hot, she does end up putting Kuzi in Ty's spot. And Kuzi is understandably not happy about this. Literally tells her to shut up and sit down, which I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of people say that Kuzi was too harsh. She was not too harsh. Like, I
Some
think her,
people thought she was too harsh, some people didn't.
yeah, I don't think she was
She
too
was
harsh at
definitely
all.
she was just I mean, she was also just in her emotions too, so she's just like I'm sure she would respected the move, but I feel like right now she's just emotional about it because like she's sad that she's up.
I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, I think that she has every right to be angry with Renee here because it's
Oh
like
yeah.
she made a very clear pitch of like why it did not make sense for her to put her on the block, and she still did. And she even goes as far as to say like she's not going to congratulate her and that she's now collateral damage. And if Renee is the one who sends her to jury, she will do everything she can to make sure she will not touch the 100K and that her name will never be remembered as the winner of Big Brother. She'll make sure she fails once again and stays dead last forever.
I mean,
Again,
I actually don't think that's she's gonna do that. Like I feel like after a while she'll be like, okay, I respect it. It was a good move.
I mean, I don't think it's a good move
I
for
mean,
Renee. That's
actually,
the
once
thing.
the jury finds that out, they'll be like, holy shit.
I don't know because I don't know if this was really a good move for Renee. I think it made more
Um,
sense for her
I mean,
to.
she was definitely one of the biggest threats in the house, so it was a good resume move.
Yes, but again, let's think about what Kuzi said. Like, you have to think about, is this the path to get you to the end? And I think Renee didn't think about that because I think putting up Daniel makes far more sense because Daniel's always going to take Anika, whereas Kuzi,
Yeah.
at least to Renee's knowledge, doesn't really have anyone. So I think it made
Yeah.
far more sense to stick with Kuzi, team up with maybe her and somebody else, and
Mhm.
just put up Daniel and Anika, get that
That's
duo
true.
out of the house.
I read something earlier or whatever, that Ty wants a final four of Kuzi, Claudia, and Renee,
I don't know how that would possibly
which is
happen,
very
but okay.
interesting, but we'll see. It depends on if like Claudia or someone will keep her. Because wait,
I
so
feel like,
hang on, is it would it be like a 2-2 and then Renee would break the tie?
yeah, that's what would happen.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
there's four people voting.
I hope it's close because I mean that'd be spicy.
If Renee breaks the tie, I assume she votes out Kuzi, but we'll see what happens.
Unless like she realizes that it's smarter to keep her, but we'll see.
Yeah, right now, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to
I don't
say that
either.
Kuzi has a chance because I don't want to try to act naive, but I also don't
We'll
want to say
see.
she has a chance because then I'm getting my hopes up. But I'm hoping that this is not the end. I'm hoping this is not
We
the end.
definitely know that Daniel's voting out Kuzi,
Yeah,
and then Ty is most likely voting out Anika, even which is
it's just
funny because he
weird.
actually saved Anika once, and
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere.
that was like week one. So
Like
really,
we're
the only votes that were Yeah, we
where
obviously don't.
Claudia and Shanae are going to go. That's really the
Yeah.
question. So,
Shania probably is keeping Anika, but Claudia could probably go either way.
yeah, I'm not sure. But I think the more interesting thing to talk about is what is going to happen in this double eviction. Who is potentially going to go out? I think the
Well,
two biggest names on the board right now, unfortunately, are Renee and Ty. I think those two are
honestly,
the
I
most
don't think.
major.
I honestly don't think Renee they would like waste it on Renee.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Like,
Who would they
especially with
go
like
for?
Daniel, especially with Daniel saying he's not targeting her. Like,
Who would he go for?
I mean, I think yeah, I remember you saying or something that like Daniel and Anika might be targeting Shania and Claudia, but
It's I don't know. It's very hard to tell.
and like I feel like, and then I feel like in that sense, Ty would probably keep Claudia over Shania. So I don't know. I feel
It
like the
should
double.
be. It
I
should be.
feel. I feel like the. Honestly, my guess is either Ty or Shania who would leave.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I don't know. It's hard. It's really
No, I
hard
don't think Shanae would go.
because I feel like it could go either way.
I don't think Shanae would go.
Mm, we'll see.
I do think Renee is not in a great spot because, like, who does, especially if those four stick together, they'll just vote out Renee at that point. So,
I don't think so because Claudia definitely doesn't seem like she wants to.
I mean, we don't know what Claudia wants to do.
And
We
like
have
I
one
saw like
conversation.
yeah, I saw a scene earlier of obviously the girly pops talking, and it seems like they're still sticking together.
Sort of. It
I think
seems,
they were more just like weighing out their options, but like they'll probably like I mean like they might cut her at some point, but not now.
I mean, it makes more sense for them to keep her around.
I
So
feel like I feel like they would get rid of her at like 4 kind of thing.
that's probably the optimal move, but I also feel like a lot of them are not playing optimally right now. So we'll have to
Honestly,
see.
though, I just think this double could go either way. Like, I really don't know who could go. I definitely think Ty if he doesn't win a
Oh,
comp.
it has Ty's name all over it if he doesn't win.
Ty for sure, because if he doesn't win a comp, he's definitely like done.
I could
But we'll
also see like
see.
Anika going.
Yeah.
Like I think all it takes for Anika to go is you put her up against like a
You know
girly
what'd
pop,
be
or you put her up
interesting?
against Daniel,
What if
and
like
oh my God, who knows?
what if Anika leaves first and then Daniel leaves after her?
That would be very interesting because then we basically have a final. Because then the final six is all the girly pops, Kuzi,
You mean
and
Final Five? Final
oh yeah.
Five.
Then the final
It goes
five is
to
literally just the girly pops, Kuzi and Ty, which is really bad for Kuzi and Ty if that happens. So
It's definitely a very interesting Final Five, though.
yeah, but then it's basically like pretty much the girly pops path to the end. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure what's
like
gonna
if
happen
one
there.
of the girly pops win HOH, they're probably putting up Kuzi and Ty.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
then if like Ty or Kuzi win veto, it would be spicy.
That would be interesting, but I don't really want to see that happen because I kind of want to see this Kuzi and Ty thing
Because
ride
I
out
kind
to
of
the
want
end.
to see like if Renee wins HOH, I don't know who she'd put up over Claudia or Shania.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I
Like
think that
I know Shania like but saved her with a veto, but I don't know.
I do think that if Claudia or Shania win HOH, that's really going to determine like are they sticking to this final four or is it girly pops to the end? Like I think that will pretty much set the tone. Like if they put up like Renee and like Ty, oh my god, it could be a historic double eviction if that
That'd be
happens.
very interesting. We'll
So
see.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Does it make sense for their games? No, but would it be fun to watch? Yes, and that's why I want to see it because it'd be more fun.
It would
Um,
be very interesting.
like look at BB Can 9. Most of those people didn't play well, but that was a great season. So you know, yeah, I don't really know what's gonna. I think when it comes to
Also,
this,
I feel like if like say Kuzi stayed, I feel like she'd probably put up like
she stays.
I know I feel like Kuzi would definitely put up Claudia because it seems like she's anti her right now.
I'm not sure what Kuzi would
I
do at
think
this
she would
point.
do Claudia Renee maybe, or maybe one of the like, or maybe Daniel or Anika because of how they treated her.
I feel like what's going to happen if Kuzi wins HOH, Renee needs to go right to Kuzi. Like that's what she needs to do. She needs to like beg for her life pretty much and be
Yeah,
like, listen, I know I just really did you dirty, but like I was pressured into doing it. She needs to like throw Shania and
Yep.
Shania and Claudia under the bus. And I think if she's able to
Mhm.
do that, then I think she can easily just like put up a girly pop and then
Yeah.
maybe one of Daniel or Anika. And then I really do think Renee, Ty, and Kuzi could like ride it out to the end. It would be the
That
most
would be
interesting
that
path.
would be such an interesting final three.
Do I think it can realistically happen? No, but it'd be
We'll
interesting
see.
if it did.
Yeah, we'll see.
Either way, we're gonna be down to 5 by the end of this episode, so we will
Mhm.
see what happens, and
If
then
Ty wins HOH, I don't see him putting up Renee.
yeah, I'm not sure.
I feel like because like he says he wants that. I feel like he'd probably put up like maybe Daniel and like Shania.
It's really hard to tell what Ty's gonna do. Really, all we know with Ty
Or
is that like
maybe he'd put up Claudia for putting him up.
yeah, but like who knows how close those two are right now?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with him, he'd probably put up like a Daniel Shania. That's my guess. Like
I could
someone
see,
from
yeah,
like
I could see
someone
that.
from each group.
I do think that it makes the most sense, like putting up a girly pop and putting up someone from the shadiest bunch, so ensuring that like one of them loses a number. Like it doesn't make sense to put up Renee. It doesn't make sense to put up it doesn't really make sense to do that. So I do think I don't know. We'll see what happens when it comes to Ty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um but it would be interesting if he didn't put up Renee because that'd be like
It
they've
would
been
be.
literally gun ho for each other the entire game. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. But either way,
It's just getting close to the end, so like you never know.
yeah. Either way, we'll have to see what happens. This could be a very fun double eviction, or it could be very obvious and we just get like Anika going, which would not be the most exciting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or we could just have Renee go. That wouldn't be very exciting either, but we'll see what happens. Either
I
way,
don't know.
though,
I just don't see Renee leaving in the double. I feel like he's at least getting like fifth or fourth.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I've always kind of gotten like fifth place vibes from her. So I don't know.
Honestly, oh yeah, I think I remember getting like fourth place vibes from her.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Either way, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens in this double eviction. But we will, of course, be covering that when it all does go down. I'm hoping that it's a really fun episode to watch. But that's really it. I think that's really all we need to say. As always, look forward to our ongoing coverage of Survivor 44. There was an episode this week. We will be covering it on Monday, so look forward to that. But that's it for this
Yeah.
video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, couples who podcast together stay together. See you guys later.
Love you guys.